Hi, my friends. Here today, I have Lisa Krady, and I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. She offers some unique journey and unique products for you. So, welcome, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing really well today. Thank you.
Sure. Great. So, I think we could jump right in it and tell us who you are and what your journey was to get here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Lisa Krady. I'm the co-founder of a women's health company called Plum Vagiceuticals, and we just launched in September of 2024. So, we're a pretty new company. My journey to get here was a bit of a windy road. I have tried out a bunch of different careers and taken on a lot of various roles throughout my career. But the thing is, the combination of all of those various jobs that I had before, of the skills that I picked up along the way, set me up kind of perfectly to co-found this business in particular. And I'm very excited about what we're working on and providing to women everywhere.
Definitely. Yeah. What are you working on?
Yes. So we launched initially with our serum, which is a vaginal moisturizing serum for the vulvovaginal area. So it's an external moisturizer, and it has some really amazing and unique technology in the formulation itself, which we borrowed from skincare. So a lot of the types of ingredients that you're seeing that are really high powered and science backed that we're using for anti-aging on the face, we've actually reformulated a lot of those same ingredients to be safe for use in the vaginal area. So that's what the serum is all about. And it's a preventative type of formulation. There's peptides in it. So it's really good at resurfacing those skin cells, setting additional blood flow, making sure that the health of the tissue is optimal. And in addition to the serum, about a month ago, we launched our second item onto the market, which is a cleansing and hydrating mist, which features a micellar water cleansing technology as well as various moisturizers. So you can use it independently of the serum if you're just on the go and you want a quick touch up, a quick cleanup. So like after a workout, if you're on your period, if you're just like somebody who likes to have that extra layer of cleanliness after you use the restroom, it's a
Mhm.
fantastic product for the cleansing side, but also as a hydrator, you can use it just as a like you would a face mist throughout the day. So you can
Mhm.
use it just like you would on the vaginal area. Same thing, it's external only, but all of our products are tested and safe. So if they do encounter sort of the more internal areas of the vaginal area, it won't cause any sort of a negative issue.
Awesome. I think this is all really interesting for a few reasons. One, because I'm a woman.
Uh-huh.
Two, because I come from an area where people don't really talk about this a lot, but
Yep.
we also spend a lot of money on face moisturizers and
Mm-hmm.
face products. And like,
Yep.
you know, it's such a huge part of who we are, but we don't really talk about it a lot. I'm also headed into or like right in the middle of perimenopause, so I find
Yeah.
that interesting too. Um, like, where did this idea come from?
Yeah.
Where did it
You
manifest
know,
from?
we we saw that there were so many solutions that were out there that were easily accessible. So if
Mhm,
you're the type of person and you're experiencing any sort of symptoms in your vaginal area, the first place you're probably going to go is either your gynecologist or
mhm,
your pharmacy. And both of those places are offering very clinical solutions. So either
mhm,
the gynecologist might offer you some sort of a hormonal treatment, which nothing wrong with hormones. We're big fans of hormones when used appropriately, but it's not necessarily your first stop in order to work through some of these symptoms that you may be having for
mhm,
various reasons of hormonal shifts. Then, if you go to the pharmacy, a lot of those solutions are just kind of old school. They
mhm,
don't use the most modern technology. A lot of them still feature fragrances. They feature other ingredients that are really disruptive to the vaginal microbiome, and they're not necessarily effective. Like
mhm,
I said, a lot of them are either very naturopathic, which they may be safe. They might actually make you feel a little bit better while they're in contact with the skin, but they're not going to actually do anything to improve the tissue overall. So if
mhm,
something's a coconut oil base, or if you're using something like a vitamin E, anything like that that are like kind of like more common naturally derived ingredients, those are going to potentially help you just to get through your day with a little bit of a higher level of comfort. But over time, you're not going to see any improvement in the condition. So what
mhm,
we wanted to do and why we coined the term Vagiceuticals was that we wanted to kind of find something in between the two, something that was almost pharmaceutical grade without being prescription, but a little
Mhm.
bit more intensive than what you're getting from the more naturopathic solutions. So that's really where the Vagiceuticals came from, and it was a combination of both of those things. So
Mhm.
when I started working on the project, I was pregnant and
Mhm.
starting to go through my own, kind of ups and downs of hormonal changes and starting to obviously get a little bit more in touch with my vaginal area.
Mhm.
Something that, previously I really hadn't paid much attention to until I was pregnant, and all of a sudden you're thinking about your pelvic floor, you're thinking about your vaginal health, you're thinking about how's something going to come out of there. You're really trying to wrap your head around all of these different uses for this particular apparatus that previously maybe, it was for periods and for sex. Like you didn't
Mhm.
really think about it outside of those two contexts. So, going through my pregnancy experience and then my postpartum experience, where I actually did experience dryness, it was very interesting to have a solution that I knew was safe, tested, it was effective, it wasn't going to interrupt my microbiome. I knew it wasn't going to like irritate me in any way. It didn't have any bad, fragrances, chemicals, blah, 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 blah. But it also wasn't something that was so severe as the hormonal creams that my gynecologist was recommending me try. He wanted me to try Premarin, which, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a little young, I feel like, to be using hormones on that area yet. I kind of want to save that for a little bit later when I really, really, really need it. And so I wanted to try something a little bit more topical, a little bit more accessible as a first stop. So I know that was a little bit of a long road, but
No, I love
that's
it.
that's kind of how we got here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love it a lot, and I'm really also interested in like the regenerational part of it.
Yes.
Because as we get older, we spend a lot of money, like what I said, on
Skincare.
what on our face, on
Hmm.
our hair, on our clothing, on our workouts, on all of it. I
Yep.
didn't even know that you could do that
Yeah.
yeah. I would
Yeah.
love to know
And
more.
it's something that a lot of the other vaginal moisturizers that exist are not really coming at it from that approach,
Mhm.
where a lot of, like I said, the other ones are really coming at it more from they just want to create this sort of like a film over top of the area because of the friction, because of the potential chafing, because of the irritation. They want to just make sure that you feel a little bit of comfort. And
Mhm.
maybe some of that hydration is going to soak in. Some of the ones that have hyaluronic acid, potentially, that hyaluronic acid might actually do something and penetrate that initial skin barrier. But we really wanted something that was going to help improve the condition of the tissue over time. So
Mhm.
that's why we have ingredients like peptides. So in our solution, we have our patented peptide blend, which is called VGP80. It's a combination of two different peptides. And what they do actually, in general, peptides, what they do is they really help to improve skin cell turnover in the area, increase blood flow, and what that's going to do is remove the bad cells, the dead cells, which is what's happening, right? Those cells are starting to
Mhm.
atrophy in the vaginal area and replace and let the fresh new cells kind of come up to the surface, which are going to be the cells that are healthier. They're going to retain moisture better. They're going to have that more youthful, healthy feeling. And
Mhm.
so it's unusual, I think, for somebody to think about using these types of products in the vaginal area in these types of ingredients in particular. But personally, I think it's pretty revolutionary.
Mhm.
And something that we like to talk about a lot is, like I said, I'm only in my mid 30s, but it's something that me and my whole team we use every single day because we are thinking of it just like we do with our skincare
Mhm.
as preventative. It's we want to make sure that that tissue is as healthy as possible as we enter this next phase of our lives when our hormones start to shift, our estrogen levels are starting to naturally drop, and that those skin cells are going to want to atrophy. So we want to be prepared and make sure that tissue is like healthy, ready to go into that phase.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Just like strength training almost. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly right. And I wanna say also that I do think it's important that we address the the way that women in general or that the world in general treats the skin of our faces versus the skin from the neck down, because the
Mhm.
skin of our faces is something that people externally are looking at. It's all about how we are perceived
Hmm.
for a lot of the time, right? We want to make sure that people aren't thinking that we're saggy and old and blah, blah, blah. And there is this kind of like vanity metric related to how much effort we put into our skincare routine. And the vaginal area, the health of those skin cells, no one really knows about it but you.
Hmm.
Your partner might be able to tell, but I would say that's pretty rare that they're paying that close of attention. So, this is one of the first categories, I think, in the women's health body care category where we're doing it just for ourselves
Mm.
and just for our own health, our own comfort to improve the quality of our lives. And sure, that having healthier tissue, having more hydrated tissue might help you enjoy sex more. It might help you want to have sex more. It might help you, it impacts a lot of different areas of your life that do include other people potentially. But also, it's just important to note that I think one of the hurdles and the barriers for getting women really on board with using these types of products is that it's just for you. And I don't think we're used to having that choice.
No, no. And I think that's something that I try to talk about a lot on this podcast is that, it starts with us and choosing ourselves first. So when we take care of
Hmm.
ourselves, even from the inside out,
Yep.
we can show up happier, we can show up more productive, we can show up, ready to have those relationships. But, we have to, as a society, I think, start taking care of ourselves first. And
Hmm.
I mean, the vaginal area is such a huge part of who we are as women, and
Yeah.
we've almost been like shifted to not talk about that. Like I know I was raised to not talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a huge part of who we are and how we provide life and how we provide pleasure. And
Hmm.
we definitely should be taking care of it as well.
A
Yeah.
100%. A
Yeah.
100%. And there's so much transition and turmoil and kind of
Mhm.
stressful situations that we go through in our lives that are reflected through our vaginal areas, whether that's puberty, childbirth, postpartum, menopause. These are gigantic, massive shifts, not
Yeah.
only in our bodies, in our hormones, but also just in our lives and our lifestyles. And it, it seems maybe kind of frivolous to invest in, a luxury product or a more expensive product to use in your vaginal area when it's just for you. But in my opinion, your vaginal health and how you feel every day kind of centers around that area. I know
Uh,
you're a Reiki practitioner, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So there's chakras that are
Mhm.
rooted there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, your root
So
chakra.
the root chakra, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I didn't want to presume,
Yeah.
but I thought that was right. Um, it's so important. That's like that's the center of
Yeah.
of everything. And if that's at all broken off from the rest of your body, which I think a lot of us tend to do when we're in discomfort, then you're not functioning as a full person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think so. Um, and it really, like that self-care starts with taking care
Mm-hmm.
of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it goes through, our vaginal area goes through something, every single day is a little bit different. Every
Yeah.
single week is a little different. It's
Yeah.
it's not like, maybe the male counterpart where they don't really see those seasons. We see seasons every single month. We go through something
Mm-hmm.
different.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes
Mm-hmm.
through a lot of shifts and changes. And the fact that we don't take care of it a lot speaks a lot for how our society has brought us to this point. But
Yep.
time to take that back over. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we really like hope that
Yeah.
the experience of using our products feels empowering. It feels like a reclaiming of your femininity, a reclaiming of your womanhood, and a reclaiming of just your relationship with your own body.
Yeah.
And that's what we hope, because from my personal experience, especially postpartum, kind of almost like reconnecting my vaginal canal and my external vaginal area to like the rest of my body after birth
Hmm.
was a journey, but I think having a product that allowed me to kind of get back in touch with myself and feel around and be like, oh, okay, that's there. Okay, cool. Get refamiliarized with everything helped a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I know I have a lot of people in my community right now, not like in my near community, but in my community in general. And in the last year, they've had a lot of miscarriages. And I would think this would be a really like calming way to get back into touch
Mm,
with your vaginal area as well, because that's a huge loss. Um, and I feel like there might be a lot of feelings and emotions, but like that again, getting back in touch with who you are and what you are, and so yeah, I can see this like so many layers of this. This is really interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. And that's why
Mhm.
we say our website URL is loveyourplum.com.
Mhm.
So, we really want women to like love yourself. Like
Yeah.
show your plum a little love. It's
Yeah.
time. It's okay.
Mhm.
No one's gonna judge you for it. It's only gonna help, I think, you and everybody around you if you feel better in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is just amazing. Um, so something I ask all my guests when they come in is how do you nurture yourself? So what is one way that maybe you nurture yourself on a daily way or a weekly aspect of it?
That's a that's a great question.
Mhm.
I have a lot of little personal routines and things that I do for myself that have just become
Mhm.
part of my life that I almost don't even notice they're like on autopilot at this point, which is really nice.
I love that.
Um,
Yeah.
Couple little things like always skincare in the
Hmm.
morning and at night, non-negotiable,
Hmm.
always the skincare. In the morning when I wake up and I make myself like a big, some sort of a big like water cup or something, I
Hmm.
always put some salt or some electrolytes or something in there, and it's just kind of like I don't even think about it. It just happens, and then I'm like, oh wow, there's something actually hydrating me in my water. Um, I try to exercise really regularly. So that's the thing that my husband and I actually have worked really hard on trying to balance together. So he's training for a century bike race. I'm training for a half marathon. So on the weekends we do trading off with our baby. So one day the weekend he'll go for his long ride. One day the weekend I'll go for my long run. We make sure we prioritize that. And also sleep. Sleep
Hmm.
is a really, 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 really big one.
Yeah.
I set up one of those apps where it blocks all of your social media and everything during certain hours of the day or after you've been on it a certain amount of time. And it blocks it at like 9 p.m. So basically, there's nothing fun that I can do on my phone after 9 anyway. So I just leave it
Hmm.
and try not to look at it after 9 o'clock, which I think has helped my sleep hygiene quite a bit. And then my evening kind of nutrient new not necessarily nutrients, but my evening kind of supplement routine is my probiotics, my magnesium pills. I make sure that I'm really dedicated to
Hmm.
like a few things. I try not to do too much so that I can just make sure they're very well integrated and I can be consistent.
Hmm. No, I love that. And I love that you said it's just part of your routine where you don't think about it. I try to talk about that a lot. Like if you just have really small things and take them in small steps, pretty soon you don't even know you're doing them anymore. Then you can add
Exactly.
more.
And
So
flossing. I
yeah.
floss every day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a
Yeah.
really big one. People don't talk
Yeah.
about flossing enough.
Yeah. Uh, my girls have heard it enough, but yeah, they're sick of hearing it. But yeah,
I know.
flossing
Yeah.
teeth is good. And now my listeners can put, taking care of their vaginal area as
Yep.
part of that small little habit
Yep.
they do every day as well.
Exactly.
Um,
So I didn't mention that obviously, but that's part of my post shower routine, which is very
yeah.
nice.
Your what routine?
Post shower.
Oh, push shower. Okay.
Yeah. So post shower, I hydrate my body, I hydrate my vaginal area, I, put on my pajamas, and then I do my face
Yeah.
evening skincare routine.
Yeah. So you're just taking care and moisturizing your whole body.
Everything. Whole
Yes.
body.
I
Yes.
love that.
Every
Awesome.
inch. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I so enjoyed this conversation. I really hope people go out there and they look up your plum, right? Is that what it's called? Plum?
Yes, it's called Plum Vagiceuticals at loveyourplum.com.
Love your plum. I love that. Um, yeah, and they look into this because it's such a important thing for us to take over in our lives. So
I
thank you so
agree.
much for that.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me. It was nice to speak with you.
Absolutely. And thank you, listeners. Definitely go look up Lisa, look up I love your I love my plum. Is that what it is? Sorry.
Loveyourplum.com.
Love your plum. Look that up. I'll have all of that in the notes anyways, but remember, I always say, choose yourself. When you choose yourself, you can then take care of others, and I love you. I'll talk to you next week.